What is the scientific meaning of that word?
Intelligence is intelligent person is called that person that he is using his mind and
yes, it's using akal. Yeah.
And Arabic language, I think it's called
See, intelligence. Yes, intelligence is related to logic, correct logic. And in Islam, it's rooted in heart. It's not in mind. Mind is a processor. Source is heart. Ibrahim was being very intelligent when he was doing that. The most intelligent person on earth in history, Prophet Muhammad. He was also natural. If that's the case, what is the artificial intelligence? Do you know the, yeah?
That he used his own akal,
Right.
To worship.
Yes. So he used akal, which is natural. He uses fitra, and his intention was in line with our purpose of creation, to please Allah. Right? Those are the conditions. But when you say artificial intelligence, do you know the word oxymoron? Oxymoron is like halal pork. That is absurd. Right? It's like Islamic socialism or Islamic democracy. It's absurd. Artificial intelligence is an absurd term because artificial has no akal in it. It's man-made. Man created. Intelligence itself is akal. There is no akal in artificial. Yet, that's the most popular term these days. Isn't it true? Artificial intelligence. Yet, Allah's verse is looking at us. Just like if your face is groveling on the floor, can you be righteous? Right? Same way. The one who creates and who doesn't create, can they be same? Who created artificial intelligence? Look around. Can there be any guide for you? So it's not enough that we know there is a solution in the Quran. We have to find out where is the solution, how we can find them. And you don't, because you don't look. So why is it necessary? It's absolutely necessary. You are thinking, why are we discussing all these philosophical things? Because unless you have it, you cannot answer any question. This is the problem. You cannot answer a single question correctly. It will be like this, 666, 999. You have no logic. Randomly you can say something that might be appearing to be true, but it has no logic behind it. Not one. So I ask this simple question. Excuse me for this down-to-earth examples, because that's what everybody can relate to. You can be from agriculture, you can be from computer science, software engineering. You would also all get it. Fruit is skin. The skin of the fruit. Is that any good? Is that harmful? Is that beneficial or is it harmful? Animal internal organs. In old days they always had, if you are a patient, they give you liver and all this, kidney. Now they say, don't touch it. It's terrible for you. right? So what is the truth? Are they useful or not? You are somebody who has akal, right? You don't have to study medical science. As a matter of fact, if you study medical science, you probably not be able to answer it, right? They orient you in certain direction and you never come back. So this is the fact. If you have to answer the question, is skin of the fruit is useful, you have to know the history of the skin. Where did it come from? How many pesticides you use? What chemical fertilizer you use? What artificial elements you have in that one? Because guess what? Scientifically, if you have used pesticide, if you have used chemical fertilizer, which are artificial, they all end up in the skin. Why? Because the fruit body rejects them. If they are organic, if there is no artificial chemical, that's the one that concentrates the valuable minerals on the surface. So depending on the history, skin of the fruit skin is very useful or very harmful. You would not know unless you know the history. That's why I'm saying, why is it necessary? You have to know the history and where artificial chemicals have been used, because that will tell you what to make conclusion of. Animal internal organ, exactly the same. If your lamb or chicken was genetically modified, or they used hormone, or they used antibiotic, they all end up where? In the organ. Just like if you drink alcohol, it ends up damaging your liver. Same way, all the artificial chemicals get concentrated in the internal organs, so they are harmful. Unless they are not used, for instance, non-farm chicken and homegrown lamb that are eating natural food, that's the best part. Completely opposite. So now, I want you to write down what do you want from this lecture series. We're still in orientation, but this is something that I want you to write down 1, 2, 3. Keep in mind both short term and long term. I give an example. My short term goal is I want to make this chemical. I want to know how to make a standard chemical. It's a short term goal. Long term, I want to find out how this chemical can be useful, or how I can make new ways of making chemicals that are sustainable, for instance, that are good for Afghan economy. Or very long term, I want to go to heaven. Whatever you want to have from this lecture, write them down, and that one stays with you. Meaning, it should be available. Do not pass it out. Do not erase it. Keep it there. So I'll give you next 5 minutes to write down what you want from this course. So be honest to yourself. It doesn't matter. Nobody is going to hold back accountable, because that's your deliverable, and I will promise you something after that. So please take this next 5 minutes to write down what you want from this lecture. One by one, both short term and long term. You can even write in question, I don't care. Maybe useful, that's short term. 1, 2, 3. Long term. A, B, C. Are you done? Anybody needs more time? Pretty much. Okay. Leave space after that because you might want to add more in future, because that's your page. That's your objective. Okay? So what I promised today, inshallah, I'll give you logical answer to every question. Every question you have. And that's what I've done the last 20 years. None of my books says I don't have, I even claim right in the preface that they answer all questions. So it brings back to my childhood almost. Right after PhD, one of my colleagues saw me and asked me, what have I done for PhD, right? I said, I have answered all questions. See, Muslims are supposed to be very confident. And I literally said, I have answered all questions related to any astrological. That is my PhD topic. I said, whoa, that's very arrogant. I said, no, it's the truth. If there is one, then I have not done my job. And that was what, 87, so whatever years ago that was. What, 35? I don't know. So if that was the case, throughout my life, I have actually tried to answer every question possible. So that's my first promise. Inshallah, I will answer every question. Number 2, help you achieve the objective. Wrote down, let's call that objective. Things that you want. I will help you achieve. Both short term and long term. And that becomes my deliverable to you. I'm promising that this is my deliverable. If I did not do that, then I have not delivered properly. I have not done my job. The third one, I will inshallah make it clear your long-term vision. It's up to you what you do with it, but it will be transparent, it will be very clear. You want to serve Ummah, that's fine. You want to be rich, this is the path. You want to do both, be rich and serve Ummah, you have this. It will be clear, but I cannot do it for you because it's up to you to do it, but I'll make it clear. Looks like a tall promise, but inshallah I'll deliver, because I have done that in the past. It's not something that, I have not done, I'm not making false promises. So write that down and hold me accountable to it. Allah be witness. But I have some conditions. Everything has a condition, right? That's law. In contract law, you have to have conditions. And you have to say, oh, well, if conditions are not fulfilled, then I'm not accountable, right? Leave me alone. So you have to have regular attendance and full participation. Why do I say regular attendance? Because you would not hear this talk anywhere in the world. Not even from me. Because every day I do something that is different from the past. Because every day I'm learning something new. So if you do not attend, nothing counts. You cannot Google and find the same information. You can try that. You will not even find in my books. So everyday attendance and full participation. Why participation is important? Because you have no exam system. I cannot force you, and I cannot do it for you. If you are not participating, you are not traveling. You are not with me. You cannot guide a person who is not involved. Somebody is climbing a mountain and he said, "Oh, please guide me." I said, "I can only show you, I can only give you a push, but you have to move your hand." That's called participation. You have to move your leg. Otherwise, everything might be true, but you are not moving anywhere. And the moment I lift my hand, the course is finished, you fall down. Nothing happens. Participation is important. So don't feel bored and you say, "No, let me check my message," and Allah, what is this guy talking about? That's not beneficial for you. You will not achieve result. Number 2, document everything. In your mind, in your writing, even false information, even question you have. That's why I asked for a notebook, and once you are finished, continue, preserve this notebook. Because that will become your thesis at the end. That's the document you build your thesis on. That's the document you will use to write your book. What you are experiencing is very unique. Nobody has done it in modern time or even previous time. Nobody is taking note in Prophet's time. They are memorizing everything. We are not blessed with that. So document everything and write your book, write your thesis based on what you have in class. So it's very important. Even when you're home, some idea comes into mind, write them down in this book so we have access to it. Okay? You have to, if I ask you a question, you have to participate 100%. You cannot say, "Oh, I don't know." Right? Who was most famous about you know the story of Imam Malik. He came from far west, from Maghreb, and people sent their delegate, and they had, I'm just speaking a number, say 100 questions, and Imam Malik answered only 60 of them, as an example. And they said, we came from so far, and you are the biggest alim. What am I going to tell them? They're embarrassed, right? You only give half of the question answer. So he said, tell them that Malik doesn't know. I'm telling you, you have to do better than that. If you cannot answer, you go crazy. You go do research. No criticism of Malik, but you have to do better than that. No matter what question you ask, try to investigate. And that's called research. Imam Malik did not have internet. He did not have all the hadith in his fingertip, right? Do not ignore any questions. Because I'll be asking you guiding questions, I will be asking you real questions, questions that I do not know the answers to. It has to come from you. You cannot say like Imam Malik that I don't know. Tell him, I'm telling you that I do not know. That's not an option. Number 4, get rid of intellectual bias and baggage. And this is the most common. This bias goes up more so-called education you have. This is the graph. Education level with euro sign. In the beginning, it's slowly growing. It becomes very high. Here we're talking about Nobel Prize. Talking about PhD, masters, bachelors. This is Ayatollah. This is ulama. Or Grand Mufti. Talk to the Grand Mufti of Makkah. Grand Mufti. This is the sad implication of education with the dollars, with the euro sign. More education you have, more biased you are. What did Imam Malik have? He had real education, right? He did not go to school to get his certificate. That's how he could tell them Imam Malik doesn't know. You see, that humility he had. Even Prophet Muhammad, when he could not find an answer, he said, come back. After a while, I will be able to answer you. But he did not BS around. He did not tell them false information. Ask anybody with Nobel Prize, PhD even, they know answer to everything. Everything they know. Ask a Grand Mufti, ask any question, he has quick answer. All false. 100% false. But they have great pride. They have PhD. What are you talking about? How many years they went to school for? And I have PhD. How dare you ask me a question like that? How dare you not believe what I'm saying? So get rid of this bias. This is the no. That's the point I'm making. Get rid of indifference of attention. Shaitan's biggest weapon? Pride. That's what made him so arrogant that he could never return. Don't fall for it. Then the final point, condition, be in touch with your real intention. Don't hide your intention. Keep this to yourself. If your real intention is to make money, right? Fine. Don't tell me that you want to serve Ummah. Don't tell me that you want to just give your life to jihad. You want to help people in Palestine, whereas your actual intention is to make money. I'm not saying you have to tell me, because nobody should know your intention, that's fine. But be in touch. Don't lie. If your intention is not good, nothing matters. You know the very important hadith where you know this one where Abu Hurairah was he saw a man stealing from Baitul Mal. You know that hadith, right? And first he caught him and he said, I'm going to take you to Prophet Muhammad. No, please let me go. I will never do it again. Next day he comes back and the same man is there. He's stealing again. So this time, please forgive me, don't take to the Prophet, and I would never come back. Third day he comes back again. And this time Abu Hurairah said, this is it, man. 2 times you stole and I did not report it, I'm going to take you. So no, I make a promise. As a matter of fact, as a token of appreciation, I'm going to teach you a dua. And the dua was to recite Ayatul Kursi, right? And that way, you will. Anybody knows the exact hadith? Whatever happens, it's a dua. Then he said, Abu Hurairah thought, okay, I will let you go. Then he reported to the Prophet, this is what happened. He wanted to know. So, Prophet said, okay, do you know who it was? No. He said, no, I don't know. He said, it was Shaitan. It was Iblis. I said, wow. But is that dua correct? He said, yes, that dua is correct. So why would he teach me a dua that is actually beneficial? What did Prophet say? Do not try to analyze Shaitan's mindset. It will drive you crazy. And Shaitan, even though he made a correct statement, he's still a liar. Why is Shaitan a liar even though he is making a correct statement? Because his intention is not good. So when Shaitan comes to you and gives you information that this is what you need to do, right, to get better in education, in economics and social development, remember this hadith. Even if it is true, you don't want to believe a liar. He's still a liar. And we do not have Shaitan talking to us nowadays. We have big Shaitan working. And big Shaitan's agents everywhere. So remember this hadith. Anytime you have any intention, your intentions are fine. Talk to Allah. If you want more money, you have to start asking, why do I need more money? And make dua, and Allah will guide you. Anybody knows that hadith that says, Niya is Iman. Without Niya, you have no Iman. It doesn't matter how many shahada you utter. And sure enough, guess what? First hadith of Bukhari book of Bukhari, is about Niya. First hadith in book of Muslim is about Iman. They came to this conclusion independently. So these are the conditions I'm asking you. Please write that down and remember every time that I have faith that with Dr. Islam. Now, when it comes to lecturing, I don't know if you heard this or not. Everything I say, actually, you'd find out they are not talked about in any university or any madrasa or anywhere. It's a very unique perspective, and I want you to develop your own perspective as well, because we're all unique. You don't have to follow me at all. You develop your own, okay? But your guidance comes from Allah. It doesn't come from me. It doesn't come from anybody else. It comes from Allah. So after making dua about you purifying your intention, you see my perspective. Try to understand where I'm coming from. I'm supposed to lecture you. Right? Next 3 months, I'm supposed to lecture you. What is the best thing I can tell you? That is not a lie. Zero lie. Quran. Right? All I did is say, here's evidence. I'm telling you evidence from Quran. There's nothing twisted about it, because I gave you the ayah. Right? I'm not even rephrasing. I give you the ayah. Next one, hadith. I'm not lying, because this hadith is there. You can verify yourself. Right? The third thing that nobody talks about, I can give you, which is absolutely truth as far as I'm concerned, is personal stories. What I have done, such and such. I'm not telling you what Newton has done, what Mr. Smith has done, what the Americans are doing. What I have done in response to other facts. And that to me is bearing witness. You see the logic? Quran, Hadith, and personal stories. Then I can tell you that I have done this. You find out this is your objective, how you can benefit from that process that I'm discussing. The process is called science. Science is not just the outcome. The process itself is science. So I'll show you the science. Then you develop your own technology and you answer your own. And I'll be with you. So central question in this today, in this workshop or lecture series, central question, most important question is how would Prophet do research today? I say, how would you do it? We describe the definition of research and all this, but it comes to the fundamental question, how would you do it? Because you know he's our model, isn't it true? He's our model for everything. From very personal life to very social life to the universal life or to the global life. He's the model. How did he deal with this? How would he do that now? We know how he dealt, but we have to find out how he would do it now. In Christianity, in the Western world, they quite often ask, what would Jesus do? Problem with that is we know nothing about Jesus. We do not even know what language he spoke. On the contrary, the most preserved book is the Quran. By contrast, not a single word of Bible is from Injil. Not one word. Nothing. Life of Jesus is so confusing that many say that he did not even exist. Life of Prophet Muhammad is so real, even his grave is there. The book of Bukhari is the most preserved and the longest preserved book in history, second to only Quran. So we don't have any excuse. You cannot say, well, how do I know what the Prophet did? We have no excuse. Allah has made it very tight for us. For every question, we can say, oh, this is what Prophet did. How would he do this situation? That process is called research. Scientific definition of research is what Prophet would do. That's our job. The methodology I'm going to teach you, inshallah, is exactly that. It's not copied from Mr. Smith's book, definitely not copied from America, but this is what I've done throughout my life. You heard about my 40 books and 800 papers. All 40 books has the same philosophy. By 800 papers, 400 of them were wrong, meaning I was praising the Western science, the dollar sign science. But after age 40, I literally saw the light and got all my knowledge starting from Quran. So 50% of my papers are exactly this, what did Prophet do, and 100% of my books, what Prophet would do. That's the basis. If you think about it, what is the most distinctive feature? Even the word Homo sapiens, right? This question.
You said that what would the Prophet do?
Yeah.
Like even if it's like combating the drones.
Yes, exactly. Even short term, you have a cut, right? What did Prophet do? Give a very down to earth example. Prophet was hurt in the battlefield. What did you do? Prophet was poisoned. What did you do? Those are very big problems. Omar was being assassinated. What did they do? They had the most knowledge, right? Isn't it true? Did anybody had more ill than those guys? And he's the assassinated. You know what they did? Does anybody know? They gave him milk. And the milk was coming out from the gut. And they said, it doesn't look like you are going to survive this, so give us the OSIA, meaning nominate somebody and things like that. Today, if you have a cut, right? If somebody is trying to assassinate you, do you even think what prophet would do? No, we say hide. Right? We talked about even. It's very funny. I'm supposed to be wearing different outfit every day, so nobody can recognize me. Because God forbid if they find out that I'm doing defense research, they will assassinate me, right? So, what am I supposed to do? Wear burqa to hide? What am I hiding from? But I should ask, what did prophet do? Right? So for everything, from emergency to long term, everything, we have to ask, what did prophet do? So I have lived that theoretically and practically. I have many stories to tell, but that's why I said the number 3 is my personal stories. So humans, everybody recognizes. So I tell you this: Homo sapiens is a species. Is it true or false? What is better? Yes? Is it Homo sapiens is a species. We have many species. Homo sapiens is one. Is it true or false?
Like if by species you mean the creation of a life, then yes it is.
No, you cannot ask. Species is a species, right? You find out. Yes, even if you ask that question, is it true that Homo sapiens is a species? It's true? Who else thinks it's true? Homo sapiens is a species. Let's take that as an example. Okay? Homo sapiens is a species. And what do we what you want to find out in this class, remember that we should be able to tell if somebody is telling the truth or lie. We should be able to question. So take very simple one, and it's related to what we are. Anybody knows the meaning of Homo sapiens? Anybody knows? Homo means uniform. Thinking. So it literally says a group that thinks according to definition of Homo sapiens. Now we're trying to find out is it true or false, right? Then you say, what is the proper criterion? We have to study the history. Remember the full scheme. We have to study the history. So what does the homo means? Homologous groups, right? So you ask, who else is there? Think about it. You are saying homo, who else is there? Monkeys? Neanderthal? Whole bunch of other groups. Is it true that we belong to the group of Neanderthals?
No.
Right away. So what are you talking about? We are a unique group. If we belong to another group, Allah belongs to a group of deities, all kind of pillars. Does Allah belong to a group?
No.
Can you say that there is a group of deities or group of ilahs and Allah is one of them?
No.
How come we belong to a group that these guys belong? You see how they got you? Without thinking, we accept that. If you look at the history, just know. As a matter of fact, there are that group, that's the closest one. What is the feature of those? They kill each other. So characteristic feature of humans, the closest to us, they kill each other. What does it mean? Humans are born bad guy. You remember? I said even in science they follow the same Born-Steiner group. So killing each other becomes a trait of humans. Surah Baqarah 230. Anybody knows Surah Baqarah? 230 Allah says, Inni Jail fil ardi Khalifa. Remember that? What did the angel say? Think about it. It says it's Quran. How often do you think? Allah said, that I'm going to place a Khalifa on earth. Think about it. Allah wants to place a Khalifa. He decided that I'm going to place a Khalifa on earth. Right away, angels are saying, they will create fasad, they will shed blood.